This is a horror game podcast. It is meant for mature audiences. It may contain adult language, violence, and sexual themes, as well as shocking revelations. Viewer discretion is advised. Greetings, fellow investigators, and welcome to our video podcast, Into the Darkness, where my friends and I are playing the Sad Robots role-playing game. I'm your host, Thom Raley. The system is Sad Robots. It was created by Morgan Llewellyn. I am the Root, and this is a one-shot. We have been running a lot of Sad Robots lately, providing Morgan with material to review to help with the refinement of his game system. In running this game, I have made one simple change. I have given the players a backstory for the space station that they now inhabit. I wanted them to have a chance to think about their characters. Other than that, I have not myself planned anything. The game will flow from our combined creativity and imagination. So let's begin our journey into the darkness. And with that, I'll give you what I told them. The Aurora is a luxury space station. Think of it as a high-class resort with all the amenities. It can accommodate 5,000 guests and staff. It orbits a spectacular ultramarine blue gas giant. Flashes of colored lightning can be seen in its atmosphere, and beautiful aurora ripple at the poles. Around 200 years ago, the number of guest bookings began to diminish considerably. As a result, many of the human staff were let go. The robots were often reprogrammed to fill the gap. They may have been reprogrammed many times for many different jobs. Sadly, the hotel eventually closed down. For a while, it was repurposed, but that didn't last very long. 195 years ago was the last time a human was on the station. They left their robots behind. Let's find out who they are. Joe, why don't you go first?
Well, my robot is is named Gordon Blue. He is a sous chef. How far do you want us to go? You want us to go drive, routine?
Yeah, let's get your drive, your routine, and your malfunction.
So his drive is to make sure, as a sous chef, is to make sure the kitchen is ready for everything for when the head chef comes in to start everything. So my day is mostly everything from mise en place to making sure that everything in the kitchen is in order and ready to go for the chef to go in and do his job. I think secretly, though, I would love to be a head chef myself one day, but unfortunately, only humans are allowed to be head chefs. So my routine, as I was saying, is sort of like the mise en place, making sure that everything is ready to go for every meal, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, every single day. I put out everything in its place for the chef to come and prepare. But there's no more food, so it just kind of sits there empty. So eventually, when the time comes, I put it all away. And I do this for all 3 meals every single day. I do have a malfunction, though. I can no longer whisk anything. So I used to be really great at preparing sauces, but now it's sort of like a choppy, almost bad sawing motion. And also some of my chopping and dicing and slicing blades are they're a little blunt now and maybe a little chipped.
So is it that some of the servos in your arm don't function?
Things are starting to break down, the servos, everything, just from constant use and just not being properly sharpened and everything. But I go through all the motions of setting up the kitchen and tearing it down every day for every meal, but there's no food, so.
And no head chef either. So.
There's no head chef that comes, but it's ready for when he may return one day. He will.
Carrie, how about you?
My robot is named Lola. She's actually a pleasure bot, but she was programmed to be a lounge singer. Her drive is to be sexy, entertaining, flirtatious, to attract people to the bar and get them to spend their money. Um, she usually walks the decks during the day, advertising the bar and lounge and her performance. And she performs in the evenings with the robot band. And then her malfunction is that after all this time, her song list is stuck on repeat of the song called Why Don't You Do Right? So she can't sing anything else because it just keeps repeating over and over.
Julian, how about you?
Yes. So my robot's name is Suds. I am a laundry bot. And so my job is to go along every day and collect all the dirty linens from the chutes that come down from all the floors that the housekeepers have stripped off the beds and whatnot. Um, and so my drive is to keep everything clean and tidy. Um, so every day I go along and I try to collect the dirty linen, but there is no dirty linen because there are no guests. So instead, I take the clean linen, put it into the washing machines, clean it again, and go through the entire cleaning motion, folding it, putting it away. And that's what I do every single day. Um, my malfunction though is it's become increasingly difficult to do my job because I am no longer waterproof. And so it's a little bit challenging to deal with the water. So I've got a little bit of an aversion to water.
It's seeped into the cracks on your armature. Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
it's kind of damaged my joints a little bit. And so it's getting more, it's sort of like the robot equivalent of arthritis.
Cool. Stefan.
So my robot's name is KVM09, not for any particular reason. He's he's now designated as a multi-purpose bot because he is actually scrapped together from several different robots with different purposes. The chassis that he drives around on was a washing and cleaning unit, like a floor washing unit, and it literally had a big like brush head that would on the bottom, and that drives around. On top of that, it now has a semi-humanoid form, which came from the infirmary. It was a medical robot, and then around the medical robot, there's now an array of retractable arms, each of which has attachments on it. So he sort of goes around, he fixes things and cleans things, and he's somewhat obsessive about it. He's gotten kind of quirky. He doesn't like things to change. He assumes that anything that has changed needs to be cleaned in some way and disinfected, which he does with a laser. And he's going to increasingly fine levels of detail where he's trying to get individual bacteria with the laser now because there's just nothing left to clean. Yeah.
That's cool. So yeah, sounds like all of you are running out of things to do, which is interesting.
Yeah,
All right.
it's difficult to find things to do. So I spend most of my time on the charging station just in sleep mode.
Okay. Kent.
All right. I am Ambience and Environment Betterment Unit number 43, ABE 43 for short. My drive in functioning times was I would be assigned or recruited by a human. My job was to shadow them and essentially make their environment more pleasurable to them. I can project holograms. I can eject scents into the air. I can play music. I can do all kinds of things to make their space more enjoyable for them. So I do that through a little bit of overreach. We scanned guest files dipped into their internet presence, like their social media presence, to learn about them. I can read their emotions, and in a scary part, I can predict their moods to try to adjust for, it's really a terrible system with, a lot of bad implications if things were to go wrong, but it's used to make people stay better. My routine is I basically wait for a guest to come and assign myself to them, whether they rent me or whatever. So, not much business lately. So a lot of waiting around in the living area, waiting. My malfunction is about 50 years ago. I lost control of my synthesizing system. So I'm randomly going to squirt out smells, which probably won't affect robots unless they have, a smell system themselves. But I don't know what that smell will be.
That's interesting. Max.
Yeah, I'm Waldorf and I'm the butler robot. I'm designed sort of in the style of a English gentleman or butler with a bowler hat, but I'm also a robot, so I look like kind of robot-y. And I haunt the first class cabins, waiting for one of our first class passengers to come by so I can wait on them. Um, and I also do the menial chores um, around there. And my malfunction is that I'm very like sometimes I will just fly into a rage for no reason at something random, like even if it's not a robot. So like I'll get really angry at a trash can or something.
That actually makes sense because you want everything to be perfect, and
Yeah,
that trash can is not perfect.
exactly. Oh, too real.
Right. So those are our characters. Let's start working on what the station itself would look like. So I kind of put the Aurora on there already, the ship. So that's my first thing. I'll just make the Aurora itself. Actually, maybe I should add something to it. We'll say that it's really not traveling. It's not a ship. It's a station. So it's orbiting planet. But there are uh, maintenance areas where pretty much any kind of repairs that need to be made can be made. Gordon, what's your place and how do you relate to it?
My place, which is the one that where do I spend most of my time, is obviously the kitchen. I'm doing everything there. Let me pick a nice little shape for the kitchen here. This is where I spend most of my time doing my mise en place for every meal, making sure that the kitchen is ready, clean, ready to go for when the chef finally returns, the head chef. So the kitchen, that's where I do most of my stuff and where I spend most of my day.
Okay. This is a little tricky because I'm not sure. Maybe you can help me with it. But it's where Lola is forbidden to go. And because she's very much adult entertainment, she's not allowed to go anywhere where primarily there would be children because she's very sexy and some of the things that she does and says is not children appropriate.
What, like they'll call it the play area
Okay.
or I don't know, what do you call that? Like
Adult
in
play
a,
area.
well, there's play area, childcare.
Yeah. Yeah, before they didn't really think about it before, and she had protocols installed in her because she did like a Marilyn Monroe thing from the 7 Year Itch where her skirt blew up because she was like, showing off. And
Sure.
there were some families around, and the parents didn't like it too much.
That makes sense. Uh, Stefan.
Okay. So I imagine, my original task was probably to spend a bunch of time cleaning the habitation module. And I was thinking that there could be a habitation module and lounge. So there'd be
Is
like
this
a big.
for
This
is
is
it
for
for the
humans,
guests or for the staff?
for the guests,
Okay.
and so it would be like a large percentage of the station devoted to this area.
Yeah.
And there's like a large lounge with a huge viewing window, right? That's just completely empty now. And as far as spending time there and not like, I imagine it to be like a hotel, like many levels, many rooms.
Right.
And my job is to sort of go clean all the rooms. But some of the rooms, when they were abandoned, were marked as when you flip in a hotel, in a motel, and you put a tag on there like "Do Not Disturb," and they
Right.
never got unmarked. So, and I've never been able to clean them, and they've just gotten under my skin over
Oh,
time. Like
that's
every time,
awesome.
every time I pass them, it just, yeah,
God
sends.
forbid somebody is still in that room.
Yeah,
Just
exactly. I don't even know.
desiccated
There
corpse.
there could be bodies. There could be, yeah. I think a
There
large part of
shouldn't
my
be. They
time
probably
is
checked everything, but yeah,
a large part of my time is spent wondering what horrors might be beyond those doors.
cool. We'll say that also. That's more than just that area. That's all over. All of the. We'll call them towers, just like they do in a hotel. So cool.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
You guys all used to have a lot of help, but the humans are all gone. So all the human staff is. You guys are stretched really thin. Kent.
All right. A place only I know about. And with Lola's job, it's weird that I only know about it because it seems like a place Lola would go. But there is a dance club kind of sequestered off in the corner somewhere that only I know about. Um, and it is a place, as my job, I like to provide very detailed sensory experiences for our guests. Did that for years. Now that there's no guests to do that for, I go here and I turn on all the systems, all the lights, all the music, everything, and just kind of sensory overload myself.
And I imagine it's sequestered from so that the noise doesn't bother people.
Yeah.
It's pretty much soundproof when you're inside of it.
Yeah.
What do you have a name for it, or what's the name of the dance club? You can
Um,
think about it.
yeah, I'll think about it a minute.
Max.
So yes, Stefan mentioned it earlier. I think in one of the first class cabins, there was a particularly kinky billionaire who had an adult playground, as he put it, installed, and I'm forbidden to go there because obviously that would be, I don't want to interrupt the billionaire's time.
Okay, and this is probably in one of the penthouses, if you will.
Yeah, exactly.
And Julian.
Yeah. So I end up spending most of my time in the laundry, which is down near the maintenance area. Basically down there, I'm doing my routine. Which is not great nowadays because I'm just sort of cleaning and refolding all the clean
Right.
laundry.
So that's near the maintenance area. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll put in another. Um, there are up on the top level, there are the infinity pools for swimming and and it's the pool deck. So there's pools and there are jacuzzis for for enjoying the bathing. There's probably a glass uh a glass ceiling, so you're looking out at the planet below. Gordon Blue, what's another one for you?
So for where I avoid going, and it's kind of adjacent to the kitchen, I avoid the walk-in freezer at all times. The walk-in freezer, I was locked in there overnight by accident one night, and it took a good amount of time
Yikes.
to be defrosted. So let me see where I'll put that up. So what I've done to avoid it,
Probably near the kitchen. Yeah.
it's probably near the kitchen. It's definitely probably adjacent to the kitchen. I can move it. What I've done is I've taken all of the baking racks, the big all the racks and big things that we have, and I've kind of made it very inconvenient to get to the door there again. There's probably a ton of frozen food in there because I have no food to prep, and it's probably all in the freezer. There's got to be probably something left, but I won't go in there because I had such a bad experience the time I got locked in there. My servos were all frozen up. It took a while for me to perform my tasks again. I had to undergo some maintenance, some things replaced and everything, just because it was traumatic for me. So I avoid the walk-in freezer at all costs. So I basically piled all of these big shelves and things that you would find in like an industrial kitchen all in front of that. I've put heavy things on it. I've made it so that it is not easy for anyone to get in there. It would require a substantial amount of time to dig out and get in there. Yeah.
Well, Carrie, your second one.
Okay. So, yeah, it's so funny that Lola doesn't know about the dance club because the bar and lounge is located right next to it.
Well, and
Um,
it's so large, there's probably a lot of dance clubs and lounges and
yeah,
restaurants.
that's gotta be it. It's called, we're gonna name it Nebula's uh, Bar and Lounge.
Let's see, Stefan.
I think no entertainment station is complete without a casino. So, given and especially given everything else we've had, I'm gonna say there's a casino on board. Yeah, I spend a lot of time fixing the gambling machines, slot machines, or whatever the equivalent is, even though there's nobody to play them, which is a deep frustration for me.
Is this where you like spend your most time or
Probably, yeah. Even though I think I should be cleaning the hallways and stuff, even though they're already clean. And so I complain bitterly about the fact that I have to spend all my time in the casino repairing machines for people that don't never come.
probably one of the noisiest areas too, because
Yeah,
those
yeah, it's a
machines
terrible,
just continually,
yeah,
yeah,
it's a
ring
terrible
and do
place to
stuff.
be.
Kent.
All right, a place I go to rest. I haven't settled on where it is just yet. Um, so I would take input. But there is a deprivation chamber somewhere on this ship because
Maybe in the spa.
yeah. So as much as I like sensory overload, when I want to rest, I want the complete opposite of that. There's this one little room that I mean it's a deprivation chamber. You go in and it's just nothing in there, no light, no sound, nothing. And that's where I go to rest. I go to kind of just experience the opposite of what I allow others to experience.
Okay. We'll call it the spa with deprivation chambers. And it's near the pools and the jacuzzis and the
Yeah.
places like that. Makes a lot of sense. Sensory deprivation. Max.
One of the wealthy people on board this ship was Japanese or space Japanese or whatever. And they had a Zen garden, like the sand garden. And I go there to relax because it's very relaxing there. And I can go and like paint the nebula because there's a window. And I like
You'd say
doing that.
there's like a large arboretum with one part of it is a Japanese
Yeah,
Zen
yeah, exactly.
garden.
That was exactly what I was thinking. Yeah.
Julian.
I'm going to name a liminal space in the station, which are all the Jeffries tubes that connect all the interior spaces together. And this is where I will usually like collect linens and things like that. But I really enjoy um, being in this space. Um, it really gives me a sense of purpose moving from one end of the ship to the other.
We all understand the Star Trek references to those are. Okay, let's see. So let's see, I've got one now. We'll say a medical center in case people have had accidents, which of course does happen. And well, we'll say that the medical center doesn't just apply to humans either. Repairs can be made. So we'll actually attach that to the maintenance area as well. And Joe, your last one.
So my last room, and I'm starting to realize my robot spends a lot of time at his job. Um, my last room would be the dish room. And this is a place that I'm neglecting. Not that dishes are piling up or anything, because well, nobody's eating off of anything and food isn't touching anything. I've given up. I know that it's part of my protocols to make sure that everything is clean and sanitized for use the next day, but nothing is that people aren't eating off of stuff. We're not putting food in things in pots, pans, using them for cooking. So it seemed pointless to continue to wash these things if they weren't being used. But I think the real reason that he stopped doing the dishes every day was because he noticed that the beautiful Aurora, uh, the plates, the cups, everything, the dishes, everything that went out for people, they were so beautiful, but every time they get washed, they'd start to fade more and more, the beautiful patterns and everything. So he didn't want to see it completely go away because for some reason it reminded him of the humans when they were here, and they were slowly becoming just white plates. So he
So
stopped.
you're talking about the fine china.
The fine china,
Yeah.
that would be yes.
They call
It depressed him when he saw that.
a china pantry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He didn't want to see the china fade away into nothing. Like going through the
Carrie.
dishwasher every single day, 3 times a
Oh
day.
yeah,
for no
the
reason.
gold plating around the edges would start to wear
Exactly.
off eventually.
Exactly.
Carrie.
Okay. Um, Lola actually has her own suite attached to the back of the bar. All right here. And she was given this luxurious suite because there is in the adult section of the brochure a package option called One Night with Lola that the clientele could purchase if they wanted to.
So your own private boudoir, if you will.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes. It's very nice, very swanky. Looks very old Hollywood to match the bar and lounge. But that's
Mhm.
where she goes to take her rest.
Cool. Stefan.
So Max's Zen garden kind of gave me an idea that maybe there could, in addition to the Zen garden, there could actually be like an arboretum,
Okay.
like a domed place where there's plants and butterflies
Sure.
and that sort of.
Yeah, it
And
makes sense on a giant station like this. You'd want to have
yeah,
gardens and a place
yeah,
for rich people to relax.
yeah. And I was thinking they might even be like adjacent to each other or something, like so
Yeah,
the Zen
or
garden
part
is
of the
like
same
one
thing. Yeah.
corner of it. Yeah.
Is that what's your relationship, Stefan, to the arboretum?
Uh, it's probably a place that I'm not allowed to clean. So it's significant in my mind, but I don't go there because it
Yeah.
sets off all my cleaning sensors and I don't know what to do. Yeah.
Okay. Kent.
All right. Circling back, the club is called just Euphoria. All right, and then my new spot, um, we'll put it over here, kind of in the corner. There is a liminal space. Um, it's just simply called the mall, and it is exactly like it sounds like. The designers, the owner of this place needed a way to also make additional money. So they're like, let's give a place where people can spend money. So there's this section of the station that has 8 to 10 stores that, I mean, it's like a mall. You go in, there's like a jewelry store, clothing store, there's like I don't know, high-end liquor store, stuff that rich people would want, you know.
Yeah.
And it's very liminal. It's very, I mean, basic, you know. And Abe 43 spends a lot of time there because what's a good way to get people to spend money other than alter their physical space, to have a more shopping like ambiance. Lots of, through like years of research, sounds and smells and sights that make people more impulsive, you know.
Yeah,
I mean,
that makes sense.
yeah, A43 is driven by capitalism.
And is it a place you like to go? Is it a place you
It's a liminal space. So I don't know, I don't think it's a place I like to go, but it's a place I've had to go a lot. I've spent a lot of time there, and it is not somewhere I really enjoyed being, but my programming put me there a lot. And now that as many years have gone by, I've kind of realized that it is a very uncomfortable place. Because usually
yeah.
I'm providing experiences just to heighten people's moods. And in this place, there is you know, a goal behind what I need to do.
Let's put the mall right in the middle of it.
Yeah.
I've been on enough cruise ships to know exactly what you're talking about. It's literally the part of cruise ships that I hate the most.
Yeah.
And they force you to walk through it every time you want to go somewhere. Max.
Okay, tell me if this is like way too much, but I think after the humans left, there was a security guard in the first class suites, who was called Wilhelmina. And after the humans left, she went crazy and started killing other robots. And so I locked her in the Victorian suite. And whenever I walk by there, she tries to coax me to let her out. And so I
Really
avoid that
creepy.
place.
Interesting.
Yeah,
So the Victorian suite. We'll put that where I mean, let's see, put it right next to the kinky. We'll put it right next to the children's area and the kinky place.
perfect.
What you'll have to remember her name.
Wilhelmina.
Wilhelmina. And Julian, our last room.
Uh, so there is a place that I like to go to rest, and it's kind of like an observation deck of sorts. So it's got like a force field where people can go and hit golf balls out into space. They could shoot sporting clays or whatnot like that. Um, and it's a place that I like to go to rest. Uh, and because I
Yeah,
really enjoy the feel of that area looking out over uh, the gas giant.
like a sports complex
Yes.
where they can shoot things and hit balls right into outer space and pollute the whole universe with human crap. Yeah, sounds typical. Near the casino, that makes sense too.
Yeah. Kind of put it back here somewhere.
Okay, so we have our station. Everybody can see that in the Discord. All right. So let's begin our story. A large glowing hologram appears in the central atrium of the promenade. Good morning, passengers and crew. This is the General Operations Director. We are currently orbiting the spectacular Silesia at a distance of 21,540 kilometers. We are moving towards the sunny side, and the infinity pools and hot tubs are now open. There is a Tai Chi class about to begin in the Grand Circle, and later this afternoon, we're having our annual Bossa Nova dance in the Aurora Theater. On behalf of me and the staff, I hope your day is wonderful and relaxing. Bye for now. So, Gordon, what is your character doing at this point?
My character is beginning his morning, getting everything mise en place for the breakfast that will not be prepared because the chef will. But just in case, as I do every day, I get everything in its place so that the chef can begin breakfast. But today, something a little different happens for the first time in over 195 years, even when there were people here. I'm carrying over this very large crystal bowl that they make like a nice mimosa punch in, and it slips from my hand and shatters all over the kitchen floor.
A hell of a racket.
A very loud noise, and it's not something I'm accustomed to seeing or dealing.
Are any of the rest of you near the kitchen and hear this?
I Yeah, I'm probably patrolling the habitation module, going from room to room, and so I might be next to the kitchen or near the kitchen. I might hear it in the distance.
Yeah, you haven't heard glass crashing for 190 years.
Uh-oh, something requires cleaning. I will start rolling that way. I can only move at like 3 feet per second, so I
Oh,
won't
we're gonna have to get
start.
you some upgrades.
We have a lot of time.
uh, Lola, what are you up to?
Well, with it being so early in the morning, Lola's still in her dressing gown and she's at her wardrobe, getting ready to pick out her day wear before she makes her daily stroll, even though there aren't any people to advertise the bar and lounge to. She still does like to walk around and look at the different things. So she's just doing her normal morning routine, getting herself ready and dolled up to go outside.
She's singing her song as she's
She
putting on
might
her
she might
makeup.
be she might be humming it a little bit.
Yeah. Uh, SDZ, what are you up to?
Um, Suds is starting her daily routines, going through the Jeffries tubes, um, looking for any potential laundry that may be dirty.
Yeah, it's been a long time since you've seen anything that's dirty. Uh, I was speculating before that it's probably been 150 years before you found any dust anywhere. It's all been sucked up and filtered out, and there's no more humans sloughing off skin cells, making more dust. Um, Describe the Jeffries tube for me. What's it like?
Jeffries tubes are not too big. They're probably about 6 feet tall by about 3 feet wide. And unlike the rest of the ship, which is very well adorned, the Jeffries tubes are very plain and more industrial looking. And it's definitely got that behind the scenes look to it. You can see that there's scuff marks uh, along the walls where we've uh, run ourselves into it. Um, but it's a very plain looking
Yeah,
area.
long liminal tube. Yeah, that
Yeah.
wraps itself, not unlike air vents and things like that that wrap themselves around everything. As you're in the tube, um, your sensors, you can almost feel it, something very unusual, like um, airwave compressions coming at you that register in your audio as glass breaking somewhere in the distance. You're just hearing the echoes of it. But you know that farther down the tube, is access to the kitchen.
I get excited and I move at a quicker pace to where I think this dirt might
Okay.
be.
KVM, what are you doing?
I'm rolling to the source of the sound that I hear, and when I get close, I will, the doctor in me will take over and be
Oh,
like, "Good
that's right.
morning.
Okay.
How's your health today? Does something
You
require
move,
cleaning?"
you move into the kitchen and see Gordon standing over little sparkly shatters of crystal are everywhere.
I'm still sort
Uh-oh.
of processing what I've done because it's
Looks like
sort of like
someone had an accident.
I appear to have dropped a very elaborate and expensive crystal punch ball. I'm not sure what I'm quite supposed to do, but it is quite lovely the way the light hits it.
Careful, you don't want to cut yourself.
I don't think that
I'll
is
clean that
possible.
up for you.
I would much appreciate that.
And yeah, I will start whirring, and all kinds of tools and things will begin driving off the electric motor that used to drive the brush head. Yeah.
Are there any guests that require breakfast this morning that you have seen?
I have seen 0 guests today.
Uh, have any of the human staff returned? Maybe we'll be reopening soon.
I have seen 0 human staff today.
Hmm. Well, we must be ready for when they do return. Thank you for your assistance in this matter. I would hate for the head chef to arrive and see this mess here and think that I wasn't competent enough to figure out a solution to
You are
take
very
care of the body.
welcome. Stay healthy.
As you as well.
Abe 43, what are you up to?
So Abe 43, we see one of the deprivation chambers open up, and out rolls a simple robot. It's probably no more than a single wheel and like a kind of a long lamp post, skinny little pole coming up. Because the last thing you want when, you're getting the perfect sensory surroundings is an obtrusive robot next to you. So very conspicuous. Abe rolls out and is just kind of wandering. And I think there's probably very few robots on the station that can emit emotion. I would think as a pleasure bot, and correct me if I'm wrong, Lola might be able to.
You can at least simulate it.
Yeah. So as Abe is rolling around, sees Lola, and all of a sudden around Lola, the perfect sensual lighting, very quiet, sensual music. But instead of a very sensual smell, the overpowering scent of dill fills the air as Abe tries to set the mood for, one of the few robots that he can read emotion for.
Oh, good morning, Abe. Uh, Thank you for this beautiful lighting. It does make my skin glow. But what is that odor? You're making the room smell like pickles.
I apologize, Lola. I, you know, I ran into a lounge chair some years ago and lost control of, I cannot control what scent I synthesize and put out into the world. But
Well,
the
maybe
but
you could
but
do
the
that in the bar.
but
That
the but
might get be nice for some cocktails or something.
maybe. But the lighting and the sounds and the general everything else was good.
Oh, it's wonderful, hon.
If there was a
Yes.
human here, they would be sensually inclined.
Oh, I would be irresistible, but I already am.
True. You do not need much help from me, but I provide what I can.
And I appreciate you, dear. Why don't you come back and see me sometime?
Absolutely. I kind of
Um,
trail. Uh, if it were a human, creepily behind Lola, but I'm just a robot.
Waldorf, you are making sure everything is intact when a small implanted sensor goes off in your head. It's a voice that speaks to you. It's the General Operations Director. And he says, Mr. Waldorf, sensors seem to tell us that the 2329 antique Waterford crystal punch bowl has been damaged.
His eye just twitches. That punch bowl was Mr. Darcy's favorite.
See if you can find out who's responsible
Of
and dock
course.
them their pay for the month.
Of course, my lord. And I will go towards the kitchen where I think that punch bowl is being stored.
Yeah. Or the China. Yeah. Yeah. It's going to be in that direction.
Yeah.
So you probably move quite swiftly because you you're designed to. Your tuxedo tails flapping in the, in the wind as you go.
A valet
Uh,
has to be in all places at once.
you get in the lift and you step into the lift, and a voice says, "What floor? Please state your destination."
Kitchen, please.
Kitchen it is. Kitchen is off limits to normal guests. Are you staff?
Yes.
Please present your identification code.
And Waldorf just goes, "How's this for an identification cord?" And he starts beating on the button thing.
No need for violence. I'll take you there immediately. And the rather sheepish sounding elevator takes you immediately there. Um, Gordon and Stefan, you are cleaning up the mess as all of these other robots converge on your area.
Yeah, I roll into the kitchen and I'm like, "Hello, Gordon. Hello, Gordon. How are you today?"
Hello, Suds. How are you?
"I am well. I am well. Is there any dirty linen here?"
No, but it has been a while since my aprons have been washed and pressed. If you would kindly do that for me, I would
"Oh,
greatly appreciate it."
yes, please. Where are they?"
He takes an apron off and then hands it to him. And then he goes to a box where there's about 50 more and just hands him the box.
I take the whole box and I'm really excited. And I turn to KVM and I'm like, "Good morning, KVM. Good morning. How are you?"
Good morning. My health is good, thank you. How's yours?
"My health is well. I have a job to do. See?
Very good. I
What
will
happened
clean
here?
up after you.
What happened here?"
I had an unfortunate accident where I dropped the crystal punch bowl that I was getting ready for the mimosa punch for
Oh,
breakfast this morning.
oh, do we have guests?
No,
Oh,
we also don't have a head chef, so there probably won't be any breakfast, but I have to be ready. That is my job as sous chef, to prepare everything in the kitchen for the chef when he arrives.
yes, we must be ready. Must be ready for everything. Must have everything clean, pressed, and ready to go.
I'll have to find some sort of replacement. It won't be as lovely as this. I'll have to peek in the china closet, see if we have something nice that could use. Not too tacky. I don't want to use like a soup cistern or something, but something that can replace, at least until we can get a replacement.
It only takes 3 or 4 minutes to clean up the mess. Um, and you hear the sort of rhythmic drone of Waldorf moving down the hallway in your direction.
Yeah, Waldorf looks pissed and he just busts into the kitchen and is like,
Good morning, Mr. Waldo. How I
"Good
may
Good
morning.
morning. How's your
Morning.
health today?
My health is fine, thank you, except for
Great.
uh, it's not that good of a morning because someone broke the antique Waterford Crystal Punch Bowl."
And before he says anything, Gordon looks at Waldorf and says, Mr. Waldorf, do you smell pickles? Because I have
Well,
like an
yes.
ultra sensitive nose as a cooking robot. I can any anything I can tell what it is, the food.
Yes, I do smell that. It's rather pickly.
And getting stronger.
But do you think you should do something about that? That the guests would never like that. if we had guests.
Should we do an opposed roll?
What do you want to do?
I think if he wins, then I will not blame him, and I'll go after the pickle smell.
I think in this case, you guys can just, what do you want to decide? Do what you want. I don't think you need a roll.
Okay.
I am trying to distract him because I don't want to tell him what happened, because this is not something that happened. So
Look,
if he won. So this
now is
is
not the time for pickles, Gordon.
Well, I hope the guests don't smell it, because it seems like there's some sort of it is an unpleasant scent. So you are here because
I'm here for Object 2329, the antique Waterford crystal punch bowl.
yes, it is no more.
And whose fault is that?
And just as he
Gravity.
asks, Lola comes around the corner, accompanied by soft music and beautiful lighting, and a strong smell of pickles. And she's immediately followed by Abe. But it's quite an entrance she makes to the kitchen.
Hello, boys. What's going on in here?
Good morning, Miss Lola. I love your choice of scent today. Dillweed really is one of the most underappreciated of the spices and herbs.
It's rather unique. Abe picked it for me.
Abe rolls up, and sensing the mood of the room, everything gets a little red. There's a little bit of foreboding music going, and he says, "Hey," which is accompanied by the smell of hay. Hi.
Oh my God.
Good morning. How's your health today?
My health is good.
Great.
Had a great rest, and now I'm just wandering around, following Lola, providing the best audio, visual, and every sense experience imaginable.
Sexual intercourse can be healthy and fun, but be sure to protect yourself against sexually transmitted disease like chlamydia, gonorrhea, and syphilis.
Thank
That
you for
is
that.
good advice. Yes, KVM. I always keep myself clean.
Great!
I keep my kitchen clean.
Well, we shall
Great.
not get any STDs from here.
Or food poisonings.
True.
You're on your way to being healthy. That's great.
Waldorf, how do you feel about the fact that your train of thought keeps getting diverted?
Very increasingly pissed off. And I think I might direct it at the nearest object to me.
What object is that?
I think there is a meat tenderizer, and I try to punch it, and it might like break my robo arm.
No, I probably just would knock it off. You guys are fairly durable, I imagine.
Yeah, yeah.
Fuck
this tenderizer.
Gordon, how do you feel about your setup being suddenly disrupted by Waldorf?
Mr. Waldorf, please, we must keep this kitchen ready to go at any moment for the head chef returning. We need to be able to prepare food. We will not be able to satisfy our guests, which is our number one mission.
It was you, wasn't it? You broke the crystal punch bowl, and I'm talking to the meat tenderizer.
It wasn't the meat tenderizer's fault.
You've always been
It was
shady.
the gravity. gravity on the station.
Oh my, this is exciting.
The contamination has been removed. There's no problem now.
It's all cleaned up.
Ever since the war, you've been scheming behind my back. Stupid tenderizer.
The tenderizer does not respond in any way. But it does look rather impertinent at you.
The general ambiance and mood of the room is very angry. Lots of reds.
See that this does not happen again, or I will lock you in the freezer. Whoever did this.
Waldorf, your sense of anger and suddenly manliness has gotten me hot and bothered.
Is that so?
Yes, I must say, I feel quite flushed.
Well, if anybody breaks another bowl, they will be flushed down the fucking toilet.
Don't
Mr.
break
Waldorf,
anything, boys. He's in a mood.
Only the head chef is allowed to use foul language in this kitchen.
Oh, my apologies.
Sexual intercourse can relieve stress and tension.
Oh, you are so right, Waldorf. You should come back to the lounge with me.
Unfortunately, I didn't come with any genitalia.
Oh, how unfortunate.
Your truth.
I deal with it every day.
Rather frustrating, I would say.
Mm-hmm. It's not fun being a castrato. But I can sing lovely.
Periodically over the intercom, you hear more pre-recorded General Operations Director announcements to the entire ship. Apparently, the GOD does not know that there aren't any activities going on anymore.
It's very
His
confusing
routines
when he,
just keep going. Yeah.
it's very confusing when he does that because I start to think there might be guests, but every day at breakfast I see that there's no guests. And
Well, maybe we can find a way to turn it off.
that would be most helpful.
No, we don't need it anymore.
True, not until we have guests again, but it would be a little less disconcerting if it were off.
Maybe we can reprogram him to say something more exciting.
Well, as long as it isn't foul language in the kitchen, it should be all right.
Oh, yes.
Does Gordon have any kind of like emotion, like a face that or express any kind of emotion?
Yes, I have
Okay.
one. Chef's kiss. Chef's kiss. Chef's kiss.
Well, reading the general tone and emotion, Abe interprets that Gordon, misses having people so lightly. The foreboding music changes to the sounds of a full restaurant. People chattering, cooking happening in the background.
Oh, that is wonderful. We have guests. I don't think we have any food, though. But having guests is good because that means, oh, Gordon, Abe, you did this. Oh, well, it's a lovely gesture.
I thought it was
And it is very relaxing to hear that.
I thought it was the ambiance you desired.
Why, thank you, sir. I enjoy it very much.
Your pleasure is my pleasure.
Thank you, Abe.
That was so nice, Abe. Maybe you can prepare a menu. Would that be something different for you?
How about that? Why don't I come up with something for lunch? Do any of you eat food? I know I don't.
I
can
sample.
consume, but I don't digest.
Well, maybe we can go through the We don't have food. We could do everything else though. I could set the tables. We could have Abe do some very nice music. And and have the sounds of the people. It might be nice sitting in the dining room for a while and then just enjoying.
Oh,
Like you
yes, I
do.
think it sounds lovely. We could have a party.
I will
Dining room will need to be
play.
sterilized.
Yes, it is important to keep all dining surfaces clean at all times to prevent the allergens, foodborne illnesses. Yes,
Yes, I will need to clean all the linens as well if we were to have a party.
yes, they haven't been cleaned in a while. We would need to take all the linens out before we set the tables.
I could play fun light jazz music and set the lighting and produce smells like steak. If you can smell, you smell cucumbers.
Oh, it seems
This
like we have the
light.
makings for maybe pickles today.
Hmm, pickles are nice as a side dish.
True, they're more of
I'm
a garnish.
Hmm.
I'm sort of imagining now that Waldorf is like a type 3 and Lola, you're a type 4, mainly because Waldorf doesn't have genitalia, but probably type 3s and type 4s can eat food. They just compact it and then it, goes into a little bag and they throw it in the garbage. But they're humaniform. They're supposed to trick you into believing they're human.
Yes, I have two taste senses, poison and not poison. Very important for our wealthier guests.
That actually makes sense. You're a food taster. Or you've probably served as a food taster in the past. You guys have had multiple jobs.
I have a deep
Um,
knowledge of all vintages since 2055.
Mr. Waldorf, you should help us with the way you're dressed and everything. Would you like to be the maitre d' for lunch today?
Hmm, that's an idea. Although I usually don't serve low-class pigs, but I'll make an exception.
Well, I'm not low class, honey. People pay high dollar for me.
I'm sure they do. I believe it.
so I think that actually gives us an excuse to do our first roll. Waldorf. Um, roll a 10-sided dice for each of you've only got one
Yeah, I only
malfunction,
have one, right? And
but
then
that's to
plus
act
two.
as maitre d' instead
Yeah.
of butler.
Um, yeah, I didn't get any zeros.
Okay, so yeah, you can easily function as maitre d'. And then Lola, you're going to be the guest, or pretend to
Mhm.
be. I imagine, Gordon, you too can eat. You have to be able to taste your
I need
food.
to be able to taste. I don't sit down and have a full meal, but I do taste. We'll take a little piece off. It's a sophisticated computerized chemical analysis system if you want to get technical, but I am completely capable of taste, smell, and
Yeah,
I
as a
can
sous
tell if
chef, it's
it
probably
has too much
extremely
salt.
sophisticated. Yeah. Abe, describe the dining room setup now that you are setting the mood for a romantic dinner
So
or
Ava's
whatever
go
you want.
Yeah, Ava's gone into I mean his mode. So he has found a corner as which to be unobtrusive. He is piping in some light jazz, some sounds of a busy restaurant. The lighting is just it's just barely altered than what it is. I feel like as a sous chef, Gordon would know to kind of set, what to set the dining room lights to. So
Mm.
Abe has just altered a little bit to go for kind of a romantic dinner. Unfortunately, if you can smell, it is just like a stack of newspapers that's been in the rain for about 3 weeks.
Mm.
At least it's not hard-boiled eggs.
This is true. Sulfur is not a pleasant smell.
But I mean, if you can't smell, it is a great mood.
Right. And so within a few hours, the dinner commences. Lola, describe what you're dressed in for dinner.
She went back and changed into a little cocktail gown that is sequined. Should probably wear this for her show later on as well. It's long, it has a slit down the side to expose her beautiful thigh and tiny little straps. And she has her hair down. She looks a lot like I think they fashioned her after Veronica Lake. But she's dressed for a very fancy evening.
Waldorf, you have gone upstairs quickly to put on your maitre d' outfit, which is very formal, tux and so forth. And as you are heading back towards the lift to come down, you notice that the door of the Victoria suite has been smashed open.
I will just freeze. Is there what is the nearest like weapon? Like, would there be a cavalry saber on the wall in the Victorian suite?
I think that why don't you roll for that?
All
And if
right.
it's a zero, then you if there's not, but if there's not, you
Oh,
find something like
I did get 1-0.
so yeah, you don't find anything like that. But the only thing that would be weapon-ish would be like a fire extinguisher. There's no axes, there's no real wood on board the ship, but fires can happen.
Yeah, I will just cautiously wander towards the room where the dinner party is, and I'll just be saying, Wilhelmina, Wilhelmina, come back into the Victorian suite.
There's no response. But you do see bits of splintered debris. It's not real wood, but it looks and acts a little bit like real wood. So the door is splintered. There's pieces everywhere, and there's at least a little bit of tread mark on the ground that you can see heading, oh, to the right down the corridor.
Yeah, I think last time Waldorf captured Wilhelmina, he did an elaborate murder investigation. So he's going to get his Sherlock Holmes hat and put it on over his suit and proceed to the dinner party to warn everybody that there's a murderer on the loose.
Okay. So you guys have got some, light jazz going. Uh, the room smells like old newspaper. Uh, whether that's good or bad, maybe you're not entirely sure. Gordon doesn't like the smell. Gordon, since there's no food, what have you?
I'm bringing out a tray of appetizers for lunch to Lola at the table. It's just empty plates. I'm just placing them down, going through the motions, describing things, what I would have made had I had the ingredients. Wonderful things. And these scallops are from the colonized Mars where they were grown. And he's just coming up with all kinds of crazy things to put out, but none of it. He's gone through the motions of kind of making it, but
Oh, honey, this sounds wonderful, but where's the food?
we don't have any food on this station. And he kind of looks kind of sideways because, as he said, he doesn't look you in the eye when he says it. We have no food, unfortunately.
Now, honey, are you telling me the truth Why would you say that? I don't think you mean it.
There may be food. Mr. Waldorf isn't in here, is he? I'm take a look around. Yeah, he's not back yet.
No, I don't see him.
There's a lot of food in the freezer, but I can't go in there.
You can't go in there?
No, it's a bad place. It's a very bad place. I can't go into the freezer.
Well, do you want me to go in there for you?
It's very difficult to get to. There's a lot of stuff piled up on it. It would take a while to clear out.
Well, I know I look like a delicate flower, but I can lift heavy objects. I've lifted a couple of men or two in my time.
I don't know if it's a good idea to open the freezer. It's been a very, very long time since it's been opened.
Well, what if I grab one of the other boys to help? Would that
Um,
make you more comfortable?
if there's other people around, but I cannot go in there. I
Oh,
cannot.
no, you don't have to. We can do it. But
But
then you can cook all these wonderful things you're describing.
that is quite possible. I mean, if I didn't have to go in there and the food came out of the freezer, it'd be
No,
interesting
all
to
I
know
need
what's
is a
in there too.
list. You just give me a list and tell me which shelf it is on, and I will go in there and retrieve them for you.
That could work.
Hmm.
It would be fun to use real food again.
Yeah, I brought this
Unjustified
wonderful
fears.
bottle of wine, and we can't enjoy our wine without some food.
Oh, the wine cellar is still accessible.
Hmm.
Unjustified fears can be a sign of mental illness. Do you feel ill?
I don't feel ill. I just feel I I don't feel. I just know that it is a bad thing to go into the freezer.
Well,
I,
you have nothing to worry about. We could do that for you. Three of us.
that would be most helpful. We used to have some human staff as well, but no more.
Yes,
I've never.
we
I've,
can go in. Suds, you can come with me.
yes. I've never been in a freezer. What's it like?
I've heard it's rather cold.
Oh,
The temperature is below freezing.
oh my. Well,
0
no
degrees
worries.
Celsius, 32 degrees Fahrenheit.
I may have to retrieve a shawl. I didn't wear anything with sleeves. I do feel the cold.
Oh, then yes, you should. Maybe you have a parka?
A parka.
For
Perhaps.
those men
Maybe
who
my
really,
furs.
for those guests who prefer Eskimo women too.
Well, I'll be right back. Let me go get one of my coats, my luxurious fur coats, and I will be back and we can go into the freezer then, Suds, okay? And while I'm gone, you can prepare that list.
I will do that.
Mm.
Okay, so
And she
Lola,
goes off to her room. Yep, she
yeah,
heads off.
you go through the Nebula Bar and Lounge to the elevator that leads up to your room. But as you're crossing the lounge, as the elevator doors are closing, you swear you see somebody else in the lounge. Looks like a woman, but before she sees you, the doors close and you start up to your thing.
I don't think anything of it.
While you guys are waiting in the kitchen, or actually just outside the kitchen, um, just about the time the elevator dings and Waldorf comes down dressed not as you expected, but as a detective. Um, uh, you think that you hear noises, um, almost as if there's somebody else in the hotel nearby. But it doesn't make sense where that noise would be coming from. There certainly are not rats or anything like that on this ship. Never have been. But the memory of the idea of rats kind of, especially that horrible movie Ratatouille that they played in the children's area so many times. But Waldorf comes down, and once again, he looks quite unhappy or angry about something.
By
Good
God,
evening.
Abe 43, the game is afoot.
Uh, Abe switches modes. The sound of light rain uses his hologram to project behind Waldorf a gritty cityscape, and it's raining with the occasional flash of lightning and accompanying sound. Unfortunately, it's all ruined by the smell of a banana, but like the type of banana you get when you find a scratch and sniff book and scratch the banana, and it kind of smells like banana, but kind of doesn't.
Chemical banana. Ew.
Yeah.
But yes, I'm afraid that there's a murderer on the loose.
Oh no. Is that why you're dressed so strangely? Did you kill someone?
I didn't kill anybody. I was set on the loose. Doesn't mean it's me.
What should we do? What should we do, Waldorf? What should we do?
Are you the
We
hotel detective too?
well, I moonlight as one.
Hmm. Somebody appears to have knocked over a one of my extracts, the banana extract. So I could smell it everywhere. Perhaps that's the murder weapon or the murderer.
Banana extract is the murder weapon.
Well, whoever broke the bottle of banana
Oh, I
extract
see.
might be the murderer. That's what I'm thinking. Who
Well,
would do such a thing? Except
I
the
know
murderer.
who the murderer is.
Is it someone
Are
in
you-
this room?
When he
It's
says, I
my-
know who the murderer is, there's dun dun dun.
Yeah, I will
Are you
start.
going to go into the kitchen? Or you're outside the kitchen. Are you going to go inside? You thought you heard a noise?
I thought that the banana smell might be somebody knocked over the banana extract in the kitchen, so that there might be
Right.
something there. But I didn't
I'm
hear
just
it.
asking if you go into the kitchen.
Oh yeah, I think I would go into the kitchen, back into the
Okay.
kitchen, my normal home.
The meat tenderizer is missing.
And I noticed because I notice everything, mise en place.
Mhm.
hmm I think I turn around and I'm picturing those double doors that you have in every comedy where one's an in and one's an out. And I go in through the outdoor, which is so wrong because I'm all upset because the mise en place is all messed up. And I go out and I tell Waldorf, the meat tenderizer, it's gone.
Dun,
I
dun,
knew it was that son of a
dun.
bitch. Or wait, no, it's not him. It's Wilhelmina. It's the old guard.
An accomplice, perhaps.
Oh, yeah, he would work with her.
Did you say Wilhelmina?
Yes.
I thought she was gone.
Well, it was a dark and stormy night, and I had found the dead body of one of my old butlers that was under me, and I was able to trace the chain of evidence to Wilhelmina and found out that she was a merciless killer of other bots, and now she's on the loose.
There's a robot killer on the loose?
Exactly.
A robot who kills robots.
Exactly. My old nemesis.
Wilhelmina.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's terrible.
And
Yes.
you'll probably notice that Lola's not there right now.
Lola.
Oh no.
She
If
went
you
off on
feel
her
that you're
own.
in-
We have to go find Lola as a group. If we stick together, we'll be able to confront her.
If you feel that you're in
If you
danger,
think
you
so,
should
Mr.
report to
Watson.
security immediately.
We need to get Lola back. We need to warn her.
Yes, let's go, let's go.
And I think that's a good spot to have a bio break.
Yeah.
5 minutes later.
You guys are going to go to try to find Lola. So we'll say that you have to head past the spa towards the Nebula Bar and Lounge. And you now find that the station itself is eerily quiet and creepy. Of course, it's always eerily quiet and creepy, and it's just now it feels creepy. Lola, you were going upstairs. Uh, you were getting your coat or your shawl.
Yes, she's going through her wardrobe looking for the fur that is going to match her dress because she always likes to look very put together. And she finds the one that she wants and takes it off the rack and then puts it on and is going to head back down to the dining area.
How do you feel about thinking that you saw someone?
I think that she didn't really even register it because her mind is thinking about helping get this food and she knows there's no one else on the ship. So there couldn't have been someone there because obviously maybe they would have wanted to use the elevator too and the elevator would have stopped and opened back up if there was another person that wanted to use the elevator.
Yeah. All right. So you get in the elevator and you start back down again. The rest of you come into the Nebula Bar and Lounge and head towards Lola's elevator, and you can see that it's on the way down.
Oh shit.
I'm gonna just roll around the room and just look if there's anybody else besides us here in this bar.
You don't see anyone. However, you do suddenly you start to notice discrepancies that someone or something has passed through this room, probably within the last hour, maybe in the last 10 minutes. And it's as simple as napkins on the table that are slightly off kilter, by a quarter of a millimeter, but they shouldn't be there like that. And is there actually remnants of dust on the floor going off in a direction you're thinking?
This room will have to be recleaned immediately.
We have to find Lola first. We can come back for it later once we know everyone is safe.
There's a ding and the elevator opens and Lola steps out.
Jesus Christ.
Abe probably gives her the proper mood lighting and
Yep.
fanfare.
Whatever are you all doing here? I thought we were all gonna meet back in the dining area.
There's been,
We are checking on your health.
yes.
My health. I'm very healthy. I told you, I keep clean.
Great.
There's been some news. Detective Waldorf will fill you in.
The
Yes.
detective. What?
In one of my many roles, I am the detective of the first class suite.
Oh,
Unfortunately, one of my old nemeses, Wilhelmina, has escaped from her prison in the Victorian suite and is now wandering the halls, and she is a vicious murderer. We have to catch her.
are you telling me I have competition on this place? What? Is
Don't
she
worry.
pretty?
Oh my God. I hate it when women ask me this question.
If you feel that you're in danger, you should report to security immediately.
We have security?
Yes, it's Waldorf right here. Look at the hat he's wearing.
Well, I saw that. I didn't know what to think about it, but I guess it is slightly sexy.
It was the height of Victorian fashion, I'll have you know.
Oh, interesting.
His game is afoot.
A foot?
Yes,
Are
but
we
we actually
playing
haven't
footsies? We have to have a table to play footsies.
found any feet yet, actually. We're still looking.
Well, I have feet. You
Well,
can't
that's
have
good.
them, though.
Does everyone have all of their appendages? Because there is apparently a robot killer on the loose.
The word feet has been uttered too many times, and so Abe 43 puffs out a smell of feet, but it smells like gasoline.
Oh, Abe, what are you trying to do? Are you the killer? The fumes.
Everybody was talking about feet. I thought I'd replicate that smell.
Oh, that's not it, but my feet certainly don't smell like that.
There are certain cheeses that we used to have that smelled like feet. Maybe we could find one of those in the freezer. And
Oh, well, I would certainly let you make a tray, but I'm not sure I would eat that.
they taste much better than they smell.
Oh, well, I'll take your word for it. But what is
Cheese
this
is a
about a
great source
killer?
of-
Who's been killed? There's just us. I see all of us. Who's been killed?
Well, no one's been killed yet, but preventing a murder is even more important than solving one.
It is?
I think so.
You might
Oh.
say we're all on the killer's menu.
Oh,
Oh,
Ooh.
have
bravo,
jokes.
Gordon.
I'm impressed.
There's the sound of fanfare. Had a well executed joke.
Well,
I
where
don't
did
know.
this person come from, Waldorf? We've been on this ship for 200 years with no one else.
Well, for 200 years, she was locked away in the Victorian suite, but I'm afraid she might have done some modification of herself with the candlesticks and fire pokers and made herself able to break out.
Who locked her in there?
I did. She killed Alfred.
Oh, not that
Who
At
sweet
least I think it was
Alfred.
her.
Oh, he was kind of cute too.
I know.
I wondered what happened to him.
He did have genitalia. I was rather jealous.
There's a picture of Alfred and his impressive genitalia projected on the wall.
Abe, put that away. The man's dead.
If you have information
Oh,
about a
Brady.
crime, you should report to security immediately.
Ain't that the truth?
Well, what is our plan? Oh,
I was just going to say, what's insecurity? Stefan? KVM? You described security?
There's a question I hadn't ever considered. What is insecurity? Probably no one's been there for quite some time. I imagine there's like a surveillance setup of some sort.
Probably mostly
might be.
things designed for surveilling humans, but
There might be a weapons locker, but it's 50-50 whether it's been emptied when the humans left. Maybe not though. I'm not sure. There might be some kind of like a holding area, a holding cell of some sort.
I mean, if I can
What else
establish
would
it
you-
in liminal space, the idea of a wall of screens of cameras that no one is watching is very liminal to me.
Yeah.
they've been watching you, but nobody's been watching them.
Yeah, they've just been
Yeah.
running for
Yeah.
centuries
Yeah,
and
the
nobody's
whole ship is
watching it.
designed like a hotel, right? So there's like
Yeah,
cameras from every angle, every corridor, every room, that they
yeah.
could be monitored, and something is monitoring them, but nothing,
Just
nobody's.
playing constantly, but nobody is watching it.
Yeah.
Well, perhaps if we access the cameras, we would be able to find her. Although there are some places on the ship that are not camcorder equipped.
Well, the restrooms.
Yeah. And also some places in first class. But you peasants better stay out of there.
I think we should all stick together.
Well, if
Great
anything,
in numbers.
wouldn't Wilhelmina want to kill you the most, Waldorf? We haven't done anything to her.
That's a good point. And rather worrying.
Maybe we can set a trap.
Yes, yes, and use Waldorf as bait. That is an excellent idea.
Yes, I think so.
Uh, well, there are other options as well.
Yes,
Well, do
yes,
you know
Abe.
anyone else that she would be more mad with than you?
Not particularly. She used to whisper for approximately 500 days in a row that she hated me.
Makes sense.
This sounds like a wonderful opportunity to resolve some unhealthy feelings.
Why did she kill Alfred?
I have no idea. Perhaps just a malfunction after too many years with no security.
Maybe she just doesn't like butlers.
What's not to like? We're the most lovable people in the world.
You are so lovable, Waldorf.
Did she kill anyone else?
No, it was only Alfred. We were able to stop her in time.
It's unfortunate, but every time somebody says Alfred, he's just there on the wall with his impressive genitalia.
God, turn that off.
What if we were going to try to shut off the uh, the general manager's messages? What if we try to set a trap by reprogramming the general manager to lure her somewhere, and then we can capture her again?
Yes, Waldorf, why don't you say, like, program your voice into the comm system and say that you want to have a showdown with her and you're going to meet her in a specific place and then we can all be around. We'll be there to help. But we'll be hiding. She won't be able to see us. She'll just see you.
That could work. Although,
Why don't you let me do a wellness check?
KVM, I think you would probably get eviscerated.
Maybe once we capture her, KVM could, and she's imprisoned again, can do some counseling with her.
There's an
So maybe
idea.
she can be rehabilitated.
Yes. No one's pure evil.
Well, if she's not pure evil, I don't know what is. But like, what place could contain her? Because she broke out of the Victorian suite easily enough.
Well, not easily. It took her 200 years.
Yeah, well, took quite a while. That's a good point.
I am capable of psychological counseling. Perhaps I should speak to her.
It's worth a try.
What if we shoved her in that walk-in freezer?
That's a very good idea.
It would
The
slow
cold
down her
would-
systems, certainly.
Yeah.
It did when I was trapped in there. It took, once I was removed, it took a while to defrost.
Yes, and then we wouldn't have to really harm her, but she would be, debilitated.
But she wouldn't be
Well,
able to. She wouldn't be able to do anything when she was in there, which would be what you would want, because
Hmm.
apparently she had a lot of free time in the Victorian suite.
But then
Come
we
up with
wouldn't be
a
able to have a
cunning
dinner
plan.
party.
A dinner party. That's what we could invite her to. We could have a very special party in her honor and trap her in the
Yes,
dining room.
yes.
hmm,
And once she defrosts, then maybe she'll be more receptive to us inviting her to a dinner party.
That's true too.
Gordon, that is not a terrible idea.
As you guys are all standing there contemplating what to do, you hear over the ship intercom, bong, bong, bong. Let's move. And
What
then
the fuck?
nothing.
Well, that was different. Did something happen to the general manager?
Abe 43, you can analyze sound pretty well
Yeah.
and fix moods. Although it didn't sound like it, it sounded like a severely damaged robot's voice, and it was probably originally female.
Hmm.
Okay.
It wasn't the general operations director.
Hmm.
So I don't think that interpreting that voice, I don't think that was the general operations director speaking to us. I think somebody has hijacked, the station-wide comms and is I, I don't know,
Well,
sending a
fiddlesticks,
message.
that was our plan.
Huh.
You're pretty sure that, various members of the old staff were able to just sort of pick up white phones and hit the right button and make general announcements from all over the ship
Hmm. Could it have been
if somebody
Wilhelmina?
was missing her.
Maybe
Let's see who else it would be.
her voice systems may have become damaged, malfunctioning over the last 200 years almost.
It did kind of sound like a robot trying to use a system that hadn't been used in a while.
Hmm.
Maybe she could use our help.
Well, there's more of us than her. She's not a battle robot, so
Yes, she
so
is. She's a
she is a
security
bat.
robot.
She's a battle robot. Oh no.
Oh, that's if she
Hmm.
was security, why would she go against her programming and murder someone? He's supposed to prevent that.
Well, cosmic rays programming can get shaky after a while.
That is true. Freezers don't help it much yet either.
True.
That's why we should get her in the freezer.
Well, maybe Alfred was her boyfriend, and you said he had genitalia. Maybe he cheated on her and she found out.
Well, that's certainly possible. It's a good hypothesis.
Mm.
Well, then possibly maybe she only means you harm.
I mean, but I don't think that that means that I should just sacrifice myself and die.
No, we must stick together. We are the crew of this. And someday when the humans come back, when our guests come back, when our human staff members come back,
They'll need a
they'll be all
butler.
of us, every one of us. So we can't allow that to happen. If she's malfunctioning, and a danger not to just herself, but others. We really should try to push her in the freezer.
Yes, I do think the freezer's the best bet.
So where do you want to head then? Towards the kitchen?
Yeah. You said there are phones where one can interact with the comms, so they should be in every room, right?
They're usually
Yeah.
not where the guests can do it, but they're where the staff would have been able to do it.
I believe there is a white phone in the head chef's office, because he was constantly in touch with everyone, especially the general director. We should be able to have access as well. I don't really use that office. I don't have an office, actually.
All right, so you're heading back towards the kitchen. Abe, did you want to take a detour?
Yeah, I think Abe is in close proximity of the secret club, Euphoria. And Abe's provided a lot of provided a lot of sensory experiences today and just needs a moment to decompress. So as everybody leaves, Abe shoots over, goes into Euphoria and does his normal thing. So Abe has a small little, I mean, he has a small, I guess, arm, like two-finger prong thing, just in case he needs to move like something, a piece of trash or something to improve the
Sure.
sensory experience. So he goes in, he turns on the music, turns on the lights, gets everything going. It's probably some sort of dubstep or something, and a lot of flashing lights. Goes to the middle of the dance floor, slowly rotates backwards, takes it all in, and just as his way of decompressing, just just emits whatever sound at the loudest volume he can, flashes tons of lights, and just sprays all kinds of smells. I mean,
Like
it's just
like your own version of a primal scream.
yeah, just decompressing, letting go because he just put so much out. He needs to kind of reset himself.
And the rest of you don't hear a thing. Of course, you might not have even noticed. You get to the kitchen and you turn around and Abe is not there anymore.
Oh no.
Should
And then
Wilhelmina
there
get
was
him?
5.
Abe. Abe.
No, I don't have my beautiful lighting anymore.
Where did he go? Do you think she got him, Wilhelmina?
Well, we all have functioning hearing capabilities. We would have heard that, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Heard something.
Maybe he chickened out.
Abe is just vibing and just dubstep and flashing lights.
Well, he would have been useful. Maybe he could have sprayed something smelly and distracted her, flashed some lights in her face. Hmm.
So you get to the kitchen. You go in and you start to head towards one of the walls where a number of uh, sort of bracketed shelves have been placed and large steamer pots have been piled up on top of them. And you can see that the freezer door is on the other side. Um, Things have been piled up against the door.
You weren't joking, were you? We're gonna have to move all this. Oh,
Yeah, it's not convenient to get to.
no, but we can do it. There's plenty of us to move these things. We just have to do it quickly.
I don't know if I can go in there though, but
Oh no, you don't need to go in there. Maybe you can help with the shoving part.
I can shove things still.
Yes, that's very important. And
Hey,
then
Yes.
Lola starts taking pots and stuff and getting them away from the door.
Hoarding
uh,
can be a sign of mental illness. Do you feel ill?
Not hoarding, just rearranging.
I think he has a phobia, KVM.
Gordon, I think I would like you to roll uh, your malfunction dice to see if the fact that you are now moving stuff around doesn't throw your sort of OCD, everything has to be in its place way off. So if you fail, you will just immediately start putting everything right back where it was.
Okay, in front of the door,
Yeah.
or where it belonged originally. In front of the door?
Well, probably right back where you've put it and it's been for the last 100 years.
Okay, so
So
I would just, as they
yeah,
move things, I would just put it right back. Is it?
right.
So what's the malfunction die?
You roll however many malfunctions you have, you roll a 10-sided dice. And if you get a 0 or 10, same thing, then
Okay.
you fail.
Okay, so I have two malfunctions. I can't whisk and
Right.
I can't really chop things anymore. So it's servo
Okay.
malfunction. And I guess the mise en place is becoming a bit OCD. So
Right.
I'll roll two. I got an 8 and a 3.
Cool. You're fine then. You're aware of what you want to do, but you're able to override and do what you are doing.
I might take a couple of the things that are coming off the shelves and put them where they originally belong back, just to not have them somewhere else on the planet.
Cool. So you've managed after 15 minutes to clear everything out from in front of the freezer, including the extra shelving. Who wants to open the door? Well, you guys tell me. This isn't Call of Cthulhu, so you can narrate. Tell me.
I don't mind opening the door. Um,
Okay. SDZ, you open up the door. Suds, you open up the door. And this sort of a cold vapor mist, comes out. And the freezer's actually pretty large. And you can see there are crates all along the sides that contain various foods. It's all 200 years old, but we'll say in the future, they've got a way of sort of null entropy, keeping food fresh for incredibly long periods of time. Some of the lettuce might not be very good, but the
There's no
canned
freezer
stuff and
burn in the future.
there's no freezer burn on anything. It might not taste quite as good as it originally did, but there's a
yeah,
whole bunch of stuff in there. And it is
yeah,
very cold.
yeah. And I'm standing in front of the freezer and it's hitting me, and my joints start to kind of ache and freeze up. And I turn around and I'm like, I don't think I like the freezer.
It's not fun. I was locked in there for an entire 24 hours. The
That
humans
was
told me it was my new office. So I went in and they played a trick on me.
that was not
Oh,
very
that's
fun.
terrible.
I thought I was getting an office, like a chef.
Oh, that was cruel.
They had that laugh, but it wasn't funny.
No, I don't find it funny either. Well, I do have my coat, but we don't require anything out of the freezer as of right now, since we're going to be shoving Wilhelmina into it. But at least we know it's still functioning.
Would you grab one of those beef loins? After we catch her, I'm going to make beef Wellington tonight for dinner.
Yummy. That'll go great with the red wine I brought. And Lola goes in and she looks at the shelf labels and grabs what he wants and gives it to Gordon.
Mushrooms, the mustard, oh my gosh, you picked a really hard, difficult one to do.
Beef can be a
Oh,
great source of protein, thiamine, niacin, and vitamin B,
Iron.
and iron.
Oh, maybe that's what's wrong with Wilhelmina. She's iron deficient.
Could be
She
a
is a
possibility.
vampire.
so Abe 43, you can just sort of feel the anxiety draining away as you're in that secret room. Um, but eventually it sort of probably kicks in that you were supposed to be with the others.
Yep.
Um,
Kind of
what do you
pop,
do?
kind of pop back up, go around, turn off the music, turn off the lights, just kind of do a circle, take it all in, then head out.
Okay. To step out of the room, you hear a sort of grinding metal clank as uh, coming down the corridor towards you is something that once was a fairly seductive looking robot, but is now her her plasticine flesh and stuff has gotten torn. It looks like she may have clawed her own face. Uh, one of her eyes is just sparks where it once was. But she is heading right at you with a big old uh, meat tenderizer in her hand. And she's saying,
So Abe is flashing lights that are equally sexy, equally scared, equally confused, whatever that combination is. Um, there's no real music, but he definitely his first thought is, okay, I'm gonna try to confuse and discombobulate this robot coming towards me. So we're gonna do that by playing just a loud, distracting sound. So the sound of howler monkeys fills at just extreme volume, just fills the corridor. There are flashing lights. Within those flashing lights, occasionally there's impressive genitalia. And he intends to emit a skunk smell. Unfortunately, the skunk smell smells like cotton candy, so it's not too off-putting unless you just ate cotton candy. So he does all of this in hopes that it deters this, meat tenderizer wielding monstrosity that is running at him.
okay, let's let's say we're going to do um, what do I say, the malfunction sort of game.
Oh, the bidding game?
Uh, yeah,
Okay.
and in this case, we've done it a couple times now. I just wanted to clarify when you're doing the bidding game, this is a scale
Mhm.
of 1 to 5. Uh, how serious and desperate you are. 1 is you want it, but you're not willing to risk much. 5 is you're willing to kill yourself to satisfy it, because
Gotcha.
5 malfunctions is
Yeah.
so. Uh, we can go do a thing.
Okay.
So go 1, 2, 3. Oh, tie. I don't know. I think a tie is the GM
Yeah.
or the root decides.
Okay. Yeah, because
I think I think that your uh flashing lights in her face and strange noises, um, and her physical damage already, uh, she starts swinging that meat cleaver or meat tenderizer, but she just starts spinning around in circles, being completely disoriented. But also, you're still there with her as she's doing this, and she's making horrible, guttural, strange noises because her vocal uh, assimilator is no longer working.
Yeah. So since I bid two, am I going to take two malfunctions? Two
Um,
additional?
yeah, I think
Okay.
that's what you do.
Well, I
Um,
think. Go ahead.
well, just think about it for a second. The
Yeah.
rest of you, suddenly off in the distance, you can hear howler monkeys making this, like an animal, like a zoo is suddenly out there. And the sound of it is extremely distressing. And the only person you know that can make that sort of noise, is Abe.
That
Abe's in
sounds
trouble.
terrible. What's happening?
I don't know, but we should go look.
Indeed.
Oh,
Time for
okay. Maybe it's that
wellness check.
Wilhelmina.
Maybe.
Everybody grab a pot or something.
And I open a drawer and there's all these like really futuristic chef's knives that are actually in perfect shape because there still is like a wedding stone. They're just, it's what a chef would have, like, but they're a futurized version. So they're probably made of some stronger metal than what we would have today, kind of thing. I say, maybe we should take these with us.
Oh, those
Uh,
look nice and expensive.
Well, that's just it. They're very expensive. I would like you, if you're going to take one, you
Okay.
have to do a malfunction roll to see if you can
Okay.
actually do it. So roll 10-sided dice for each
Okay.
malfunction you already have.
Is this just for Gordon because they're his knives, or is it for all
Well,
of
you were
us?
looking at them too. Anybody who wants to grab
I got a
Mm.
one, so I'm going to take one.
I don't
It's
know. I
more of a
kind of like
cleaver.
the idea of Lola carrying a large frying pan.
Ah,
Okay. That's probably not going to cost you because it's not a knife.
Right.
So as you step out of the freezer and into the kitchen and looking through the doors into the main part of the Aurora, you can see flashing lights and something, and you see Abe over there, and in front of him is I guess Wilhelmina. Waldorf, you barely recognize her. She is so damaged, but she is spinning around, swinging that meat cleaver. Sorry, was it a meat cleaver or was it a tenderizer? A
tenderizer.
tenderizer. And sometimes almost hitting Abe in the process. But Abe, you are also experiencing two more malfunctions. What are they?
So I think one is by playing the Howler Monkeys at an extreme level of volume. Abe has also now lost control of volume control, so randomly things are going to be really quiet or really loud. For sake of people's hearing, I will not do that, replicate that. But
Austin Powers again.
yeah.
Yeah.
Number two, I'm going to, if everybody's fine with it, ask for in the future a little collaboration because his scent synthesizing has been messed up to where he synthesizes and puts out a smell, but like it's more of a feeling. So like, if it comes up, I will say he emits a smell that is like a sense of dread, and then anybody who wants to can say what that means to them or like what
Mood
that smell is.
altering,
Yeah.
mood
So it's gonna
altering
be
chemicals.
yeah.
Probably because most of you have at least some sort of biological parts as well. You're sophisticated robots. All right. Uh, you guys can see Wilhelmina spinning around making horrible noises and the sound of howler monkeys and strange scents. And Abe trying to back away from her. What are you guys gonna do?
I'm gonna roll towards them with all my, articulated arms, like going in crazy, fashion, and just going stop, 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 stop.
The current smell is scared. So however your robot interprets that, that is the current situation.
Urine.
Yeah, he doesn't have much humanity left in that. He doesn't react to much biological stuff anymore except to kill it. So I figure he's indifferent to it.
I think Lola, oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. You go ahead.
Okay. I think Lola takes a whiff and starts to just feel this awful dread that Abe is going to die. And he is kind of like the only thing that makes her feel beautiful right now. So she is going to run for him to grab him and bring him back to the group.
Okay. So you're going to try to pull Abe away.
Yes.
And KVM, you're going to try and attack. And then Waldorf and Julian and Gordon.
Yeah, I didn't plan to attack. I'm just like having a little conniption, in circles right nearby them, just yelling, "Stop, stop!"
Okay. Waldorf. She looks shitty. She's damaged herself. She's torn off parts of her own skin.
She's still beautiful to me. Yeah, I'm gonna freeze, I think is my reaction. I'm just gonna like back up against the wall.
Okay. I will think that you should see if you get another.
Yeah.
Let's see.
You can just give
roll
a
your malfunction dice. Yeah, I can. Yeah, I think your malfunction is well, you tell me. But what do you think your malfunction would be?
I
Something
think
associated with your original reason for locking her up, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I think my malfunction is that I remember that I killed Alfred because I was jealous of him.
So
And I blamed it on her.
your systems were set so that you couldn't remember. Now you can.
Exactly. I hacked myself to forget it, like in Memento. I mementoed myself.
Cool. Suds, they're making a mess, but
Yes.
you are aware that it's a dangerous situation. You're not.
Yeah. Suds is kind of going to do a lot of what KVM is doing, and really just uh, please stop, please stop. You're making a mess. Please stop. Please stop. Let me clean this up. Please stop.
Gordon.
I want to run away, but I don't want to just run away. I want to make it a purposeful runaway. So I'm trying to see if anyone is in a situation where they can understand what I'm saying. I'm saying, let's get her to follow us so we can get her towards the freezer. Let's get her to chase us. That's what I'm trying to do. But I really just want to run away. But I think if we're going to do that, if I'm going to do that, I got to make it worth running away. So I want Wilhelmina to chase me, and hopefully get everyone else to do the same. And it doesn't look too Scooby-Doo.
Okay. After a couple of seconds of this, Abe is now whatever he's pumping out actually has kind of a yellowish green color to it. It's almost like a gas, whatever the smell is. Normally it's colorless, but in this case, the combination of chemicals, and you're pretty sure it's going to get in everything and stay there for a while. kind of like skunk smell, but it's not skunk smell. Um, uh, Wilhelmina stops spinning around in the light, and her eye focuses, the one eye she's got left, focuses on Waldorf. And she just stops in her tracks, raises that hammer, and starts heading at Waldorf.
The current
Yeah, I'm
smell
just
is
gonna say,
relief.
wait, don't you want to know why I killed him?
She's like, "Meh, meh, meh," like this. She looks like she's just going to hit you.
Yeah, I'll take the
You
hit.
see Gordon running towards the kitchen. You're going to take the hit?
Yeah, I know I deserve it.
Okay. Um, well, I rolled a 10, so uh, she's going to bring that hammer down on your shoulder, but you're pretty tough. So at the most, it just barely dents your shoulder as it comes down. So wham, it hits you. But she's looking right into your face with anger and hatred in her eye. Her eye. Uh, why? She says.
It was because I loved you. And I'm gonna run. I'm gonna run towards where Gordon was.
Okay. Are you heading towards the open freezer that you guys left open?
Yeah, yeah.
Um, she pursues you. Why? She keeps yelling and swinging that meat tenderizer. Um, so describe for me what you do, Waldorf. The door is wide open. Gordon has run towards the freezer and then veered off towards the side. Uh, Abe and Suds and Lola, what are you guys doing other than seeing it happen?
I think Abe has done a lot. He has put a lot of sensory stuff into the air, you know. And I think in robot exhaustion has kind of just fallen over. Lola was running towards Abe, so maybe into Lola's arms, you know.
Aw.
And so he's just
Yeah,
kind
she
of
catches him. She's like, "Don't worry, Abe. I'm gonna make sure everything's okay. Then you can put your wonderful glowing light back on me again."
there's like a blue, like really, really light blue pulsating. And the smell is kind of relief that he's not dead. So whatever people and robots interpret that as.
That's
Yeah, I'm like, come on, let's go. Let's go. Let's follow her. Let's go. And I'm like running in or rolling in circles.
I mean,
um
I don't know how big Abe is, but I will try to pick him up and take him back in the direction everyone else is going.
well, Lola, it seems to me like there have been a couple of times that they ganged up on you and you just grabbed the two men, lifted them off the ground. So you're a
Okay.
lot stronger than
Yes.
the average human
Some of them
being.
asked me to do that.
Abe is pretty small. He's supposed to kind of blend into the background, so he's kind of small and
All right.
unobtrusive.
I'll tuck you in. Be like,
Waldorf.
"Come on."
Waldorf, do you describe what you do? Do you run into the freezer?
Yeah, I'm gonna go into the freezer and sacrifice myself for the good of the people and die with my lover.
Okay. So
Um,
Waldorf runs into the freezer. Wilhelmina runs in after him, screaming. Uh, what do you guys do?
Gordon's got a moment because he doesn't want to go near the freezer, but he knows he needs to close the freezer door. So I think he's going to wait a second, just hesitate, and hopefully the others will come in Suds, KBM, and I guess then Lola. And
Mhm.
we all go and just, he's got a motion. We need to close them in the freezer and just,
And collectively, we all shoved the door shut.
Yeah.
and I turn whatever, there's some kind of thing on it that I
Big
turn.
latch. Yeah.
Yeah.
For 5 or so minutes, you can hear smashing and crashing and all sorts of noise inside, and it finally just goes quiet. What do you guys open it or never open it, or do you just leave it as it is?
Now, you said you were in there for how long, Gordon?
24 hours. And I mean, I was frozen solid when I came out. I mean, I could think and everything, but I couldn't move. It took a while for my servos and things to start functioning.
Well, maybe the two of them better cool off before we let them out. You know, we had that beef tenderloin over there.
It's so hard. It's sad. It's sad that he was in love with her and she loved another man. It's almost
Well,
human.
the other man had parts that Waldorf didn't. Maybe he just couldn't give her what she needed.
Hey,
True,
Gabe.
but I feel bad. It's so sad. It's so tragic.
But maybe
I-
she didn't understand really how he felt. Maybe they'll reconnect.
They are together again.
I analyzed Waldorf's um, expression as one of self-sacrifice. So I think he would want us to keep it shut to ensure that no other robot was harmed.
True.
Time spent reconnecting in a relationship can be a great prelude to sexual intercourse.
Well, I agree with the first part. I
That
don't
is
know
not
how
where I
it'll
thought that
work
was
with
going.
the second part for them.
So I think we can say that Waldorf and, well, let's do something fun. Waldorf, how many malfunctions are you willing to take to survive, or do you not want to survive?
Um, yeah, I don't think I would. I mean, I don't think I would want to survive.
Okay, so you let her damage you to the point where she actually probably breaks herself as well in the process. Um, we'll say that if you guys wait a day or two and you want to see what happened and you open up the freezer, they're both no longer functioning. Um, and you don't think it's just because their servos are all frozen. You think they're no longer functional. Um, those of you who were really stressed out, um, the general operations director uh, speaks to you inside your mind. I have assessed that programming damage has occurred in your unit. Please report to the maintenance bay for repair. And when you report to the maintenance bay, the automatic repair machines fix you to some extent so that you are back in operation and you simply go back to your old routines for however many years you continue to function. And Waldorf and Wilhelmina are used ultimately for scrap pieces and replacement parts. And now there's one less of you. And that's, I guess, where we're going to end the story.
Went from Agatha Christie to Romeo and Juliet.
To Kill Bill.
Exactly. Waldorf was evil.
Oh man.
A side little Western too, when the two of them had their showdown.
Or was he? Did somebody reprogram you to?
True.
That was an impressive twist, though, that you threw there. That the remembering that you had actually been the one to kill the person. That was.
There's got to be a twist in Agatha Christie.
Yeah, true. I liked it.
Well, yeah, it was
Yeah.
Lola all along. She orchestrated the whole thing.
Couldn't have another woman on this ship more beautiful than me.
I mean, for the next 100 or 200 years, Lola has the appropriate lighting, music, and smells to, accentuate.
Well, and once you're fixed, maybe you go back for another 200 years before you start to break down again.
Right. At least I'm not singing the same song over and over and over anymore.
Yeah, your playlist gets re-upped. Okay, thank you guys so much for playing. I hope it wasn't too boring.
No, I
great.
had fun.
Fun.
Great.
Yeah.
It was fun. Very creative.
Yeah. Enjoyed it.
All right. Our players included Carrie Marion, Julian Arba, Kent Blue, Joe Bardalis, Max Meltzer, and Stefan Amshi, with myself as the Root. We have a Discord server where you can chat with other members. You can set up private games. You can learn the finer arts of gameplay and game mastering. We provide audio-only versions of our shows free for you to download from Spotify, Podbean, or iTunes. Support for the show is provided by our patrons who are listed in the closing credits. If you'd like to show us your appreciation, please visit our Patreon page, or you can use the thanks button just below the screen. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and punch the bell icon for updates on our latest shows. And leave us some comments. We enjoy reading them and answering any questions you might have. This is Thom Raley, together with all the members of our gaming club, inviting you to journey with us once again into the darkness for another adventure into the universe of the Sad Robots role-playing game. Until next time, good luck, good gaming.